Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rollwise Show, the place where we talk about and play games. Today, we're going to be starting our first session, or I guess we're getting started with our Knights Black Agent game. And so we've already made some agents. If you want to see our session 0, we can go ahead and link that below. But yeah, we're going to be playing through one of the introductory adventures just to kind of get an idea and a sense of how the Gumshoe system works, how Knights Black Agent feels. Put these guys through the paces and see what we think about the game. So, to start with, I think it would be good for us to know who our characters are going to be, who the players are going to be in this scenario, this adventure, whatever we're going to call it here. So, Jeff, why don't you explain a little bit about who your spy is in this spy thriller?
Sure. I am playing Rory Sterling, a former MI6 agent. I was an asset handler, and I was in a job where I wasn't where I wasn't supposed to be during a government funding shutdown, and they essentially shuttered my group's thing, and I got kind of stranded, out in the cold a little bit, not like deadly or anything, but so I don't know that I feel like I owe the British government something, but I still want to protect the British people, funnily enough.
Okay.
And
are you like an MI5, MI6 type
MI6?
person? Okay.
MI6. I was an asset handler, so I developed contacts, just mostly human intelligence, really.
Okay. Right on. Perfect. So left out in the cold because of budget cuts. Fair enough. Seems very, very plausible these days. All right. And Brent, what about your spy in this thriller?
I was a cleaner for the CIA who found out there was something nefarious about the jobs that he was doing, so I went rogue.
Okay. So basically, something about the jobs you were being asked to clean up led you to kind of develop this pattern of understanding that there was something a little bit deeper than you had expected, and then you just kind of like stopped picking up your phone effectively.
Mm-hmm. I used the assets and the contacts that I had developed to, step out on what was going on.
Okay, kind of get off the grid a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So this is since we're going to be playing something called the Harker Intrusion, and those of you that are interested, you can get this adventure from Pelgrane's own website. This was actually their free RPG Day 2015 adventure that they included and sent out there. So I think they actually did this a couple times, and we've just chosen this one because I kind of like the idea of it, and it gives a wide it allows us to experience a wide amount of a variety of rules that are present in the game and stuff. So the first thing that we know is that you guys know each other. Do you guys have an idea as to how you either met or to what kind of circles would lead an asset handler and a cleaner to be familiar with each other or start working with each other in this case?
Well, I think for the two of us to meet, something obviously went pear-shaped. Probably with one of my assets in an operation that was joint between the CIA and MI6.
Okay.
And I was asked to clean up the operation after whatever event happened. I assume an asset may have killed someone or gotten killed, and I was set to clean it up.
I was found in a compromising position or something. Yeah, something happened. We can say they got killed. Something like that, yeah.
And once you guys both left your respective organizations, you kind of naturally gravitated to each other. And
my feeling is
become limited once you leave. So knowing each other, we probably reached out to each other naturally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're also aware, and Brent, as you said, you're aware of something nefarious going on. There's a conspiracy in the underworld. It's out there. You don't know how big it is, but it is big. You don't know how old or how well connected it is, but you do know that it's bad guys. And some of the things that you've discovered along the way suggest that they aren't exactly human.
My character actually suspects it's vampires.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a point in vampirology. So,
Fair enough.
Ooh, so do
Okay.
I have,
So you
I
guys-
have
you
similar
also-
suspicions.
So you also suspect it's vampires.
You guys
okay.
were sharing a drink after a job.
My personal, place where I'm going out on a limb here is I believe that the vampires are tied into world governments and are secretly running the world.
Okay. And this might be a good time to also explain your guys' drives a little bit. So, what drives your characters?
I think I just I'm in for the mystery. I'm trying to find out how deep the vampires go, and eventually, like, if you had a chance to have a lot of power, like slowly taking over governments, like either not necessarily up front but behind the scenes, like the power brokers who decide who gets elected, kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's kind of my personal agent's conspiracy.
I'm
right.
trying to atone for some of the things that I did when I was working as a cleaner. The idea being that there's a political figure that's a vampire that committed some murders of innocent people that I'm trying to atone for. I feel guilty that they did them.
All right. Perfect. So now here's where this is where it gets interesting for your characters. Basically, you kind of like received an email that someone sent you a packet of information, and this email was it was encrypted. It was encrypted by somebody that probably it knows a little bit of the trade craft, so it seems like they sent it via proton mail. It's sent through multiple VPN, those kind of things to try to hide any trace of it. But the things that were said in the email was it suggested that they know a little bit more about the conspiracy that you do, so they have details that they can share with you to kind of help deepen your understanding of what's going on. But they need to kind of make sure that you can prove that you've got the skills to jump into this. So what they're asking you to do is that there's a journalist named Olivia Liu, and she's an American. She's on the run in Marrakesh, and basically there are some bad guys after her. Now it seems pretty light on details. See, like from what you can tell, the ask is giving you is details light, but request heavy, simply because you can probably guess that you don't want to put too many details in writing, one could say. But you do know that you need to go to Marrakesh, and basically you've been able, like with a quick search and everything like that, you can use the skills between you that you can narrow down that you can basically trace her to a tourist area named Jima Al Fana, and it's a great market square. So you weren't able to find out exactly where she was in that area, but that seems to be where her fingerprints digitally and otherwise have led you to at this point. So the question becomes, is that you've got some quote unquote bad guys closing in on Olivia Liu.
Is that how she puts it? Is there's bad guys after me?
No, this is not Olivia Liu, the one that's sending the email. It's another contact that's sending you to help.
But in the email, is that actually what it says? Is bad guys?
More, I would say more. They're opposing forces.
Okay.
More. I would say more talented writer would be able to tell you that it's. I would say it's a softer accusation that the people that are chasing her are part of this conspiracy and are looking to silence her or worse, those kind of things.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I just saying bad guys is shorthand for all that other stuff.
Sure.
Gotcha.
But you have to get to her first, or bad things will happen to Olivia Liu. That's the implication. They could just be taking her out for ice cream, though. I mean, you don't know the source. I mean, that's really
Well, that's why the term bad guys might not lead the most validity.
Yeah, bad guys doesn't seem like a spy term.
Fair enough. I need to adjust my lexicon.
You're fine. But
The
I
email
wanted to make sure
could have
that's
said
not what
that,
I wanted to make sure that's not what she said. Well,
it
depending
doesn't
on
feel like we're dealing with a fellow professional
my
who's
character
sending us
might
this
not take
information.
it super seriously if they said bad guys in that context. So
I was just shorthanded. Basically, they say agents of the conspiracy are chasing after Olivia Liu, and if you don't get to her first,
bad things may happen. Gotcha.
Bad things will probably happen to her, or or worse. So, like I said, a quick search allows you to pretty much trace her digitally to the market square, the Grand Market Square in the heart of the city, but really without going there and getting a little bit. Without basically canvassing the area, you're not going to really be able to find much more online about her. So, what do you guys do? Are you guys going to hop on the first plane to Marrakesh and get going, or take a speedboat? How do you guys travel?
I think we'd probably fly commercially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to cover great distances. I mean, if we were in the Mediterranean, sure, then you could take a boat, I guess.
Unless somebody wants to have a contact that does that as a private way to get to Marrakesh, we can make up a contact. That means we have to make up an NPC, right?
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Nope.
Flying commercial. This is the place where I think we're flying commercial. We may route funny. We may not go direct to, you know what I mean? We may route somewhere.
Neither of us are super concerned because it's not like we're carrying. We don't have
We're just citizens traveling,
guns or bombs or anything like that. So there isn't anything we need to take a untracked flight for.
Right.
So we probably do. I don't know, how much detail do you want? Because there probably is a cover identity that we use for this, depending on how.
Oh yeah, I don't think we ever travel under our birth names.
Yeah. So we don't travel as us, but yeah, we basically travel to Marrakesh.
Okay.
And then what is her name again? Liu?
Olivia Liu.
Olivia Liu.
And we couldn't find anything about her. Even if we were going to spend anything, we can't find anything out about her.
Oh, you can see previous articles that she's written if you're looking for kind of like her history. She tends to be she's a freelance journalist, and she tends to focus a lot on uncovering corporate corruption, especially in places where it seems like the corporations are trying to exploit developing countries and stuff like that. So that tends to be what a vast majority of her work is. So not to say that it's necessarily boring reading, and maybe you guys will learn a little bit about the those kind of things that are happening out there, but that seems to be where most of her work is centered.
So we can find stuff on her. We do know that she's a journalist.
Yep. She's a journalist. She's from America. She tries her best to write exposés on corporate corruption wherever she can find them, typically in developing countries.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or
I thought you said we couldn't find anything on her. So
no, what my point was is the digital footprint that she has about where she may be in Marrakesh you've been able to really only locate down to the Grand Marketplace.
Okay.
Okay.
So is there anything in the email that says where we're supposed to? Do they say anything about where we're supposed to meet her or anything then, or is it just go here? Or it's not even go here.
It says you need to get her.
That's all it says.
Yeah, they know she's in Marrakesh. But you have to get her before the bad guys. And of course, if they knew where she was, that could be, if whatever communication system is being monitored, that might endanger her even more. Those kind of things. Okay. So you're part of your job. Prove the skills.
Our first test is to go there.
Okay. So a couple things kind of going into Marrakesh is that that the Moroccan police are notoriously tough on anybody that threatens the tourist trade of the city. So, they're not going to stand for any crap in their streets or anything like that. And so
I won't shit in their street. I promise. I don't think I don't think I have that skill anyways. I don't think shit in the street's a skill I took.
don't shit where you eat.
I guess conceal. I guess I could conceal shitting in the street pretty good.
Well, that's your cherry. Conceal
Sure
shipping of
is.
this. So, okay. But you know that since the police monitor the tourist trade, especially around the areas of like the Grand Market and stuff like that, you're able to deduce that if the conspiracy is going to try to eliminate or kidnap her, they're probably going to have to bring some folk in from the outside. This could be any one of their operatives. I mean, if they're trying to eliminate her, it might even be somebody like an assassin. So you probably, if you're looking for competing operatives and stuff like that, your guess is probably not going to be local muscle and stuff like that necessarily.
Sounds like an asset that might be information might need to be found on.
But you do probably guess that if there are operatives such as yourselves that are, part of this conspiracy, they still may be working with low level street gangs or thugs or something like that to try to find her. So, okay. So the first thing is that the getting to Morocco is not hard. You can obviously just book a flight from wherever you are. You can get there and everything like that. You do know, however, that
what year is this, by the way?
Oh, I didn't even think about what year it was. It's 2026.
Okay, so we have cell phones and shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And what time of year is this? Is this, we're going to say that it's May, or do you want this to be set in another month?
Let's just set it in May. I don't think I remember seeing any.
I was more concerned with technology level. Like if you told me it was 1964, like I would be like, oh, well, there's a lot less we have to worry about.
Well, Morocco's a little hot, and so I'm just checking the time of year, even though we probably got to dress lightly.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the average temperature in Morocco is probably pretty, pretty warm.
Yeah. So the one thing I would say is that to appeal to your tradecraft and everything like that, you can't just bring firearms into Morocco, especially traveling commercially, because the customs will be your worst enemy. Now, that being said, are you the types that would try to bring in a pistol or something like that, or are you the types?
No, that's why we did. That's one reason.
Type to conceal a baton in my suitcase somewhere.
That's one reason that we decided to fly commercial is because we don't have
no firearms, no knives.
If we need those sort of supplies,
knives are probably purchasable easily.
I believe I could probably find a way to find those supplies at the location.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've kind of know that you guys have traveled through the airport, so you know that you need to get to this area. Now, this is where Gumshoe is a little bit different than other investigation types of things. I'm curious as to what would your agents necessarily think of when trying to, how would you investigate where she could possibly be, or what kind of clues would you be looking for? And speak in terms of investigation skills. What kind of skills would you guys use to trace down and narrow eventually where Olivia Liu is staying?
Astronomy.
Okay.
I send a point of astronomy to find out what stars say where she's going to be. No, I'm kidding.
The stars, they say they're aligned, and all of a sudden you hear a very loud roar from the ocean, and it's a different game.
I will use my streetwise to find out where, take a few hours after we get there to find out where local computer shops and stuff are, and see if there's any cafes that she may have sent the message from in the market, and then use my flattery to get information about people that flattery and a mixture of flattery and cop talk to find out if anyone has any information about having. Do we know what she looks like? We have to know what she looks like, right? She has to have some picture somewhere.
She's not a ghost online or anything like that.
So seeing if anybody's seen somebody that looks like her, and see if that'll be my first round in seeing if I can find somebody like her.
Okay. And Jeff, did you have any complimentary or alternative things that you're going to try?
I think I would have dug into, her social media. I realize there hasn't been new posts, right? That's what we talked about. But any old posts, and also looking back to see if she's been to Marrakesh before as a reporter. Seeing if there were places she frequented, or posts from locations. Like if she stayed at a hotel once in Marrakesh, she may have stayed in the same hotel a second time, or eaten at certain restaurants.
Uh, and then if the people stuff, we have a hard time with the people stuff. You could probably look up. You could probably use research to see about like spending records, see if she spent any money anywhere, especially anywhere consistently. Like if she spends money at a gas station or cafe or a restaurant, we know we can probably scope out the restaurant.
Sure.
Okay. So basically this is what you find as you're doing your kind of multi-prong investigation, is that you find that she has been spending mostly cash. So there's very little credit card transactions to show you any kind of footprint as to where her spending habits would be in Marrakesh or anywhere really. It seems like whatever this expose she might have been working on seems to indicate that she knew that she would have to spend physical money on it to try to prevent her from being as traceable. So you really don't find as much information that way.
Yeah.
You do, however, as you kind of go around, so between the two of you, you find that here's kind of some of the information that you find is that you do see that she has visited Morocco before. There was a kind of an old Riyadh, basically a house that kind of converted itself into a hotel that she stayed at once when she was just out of college. But that seems to be like the only place that, because she spoke very fondly of it in her like
Okay.
social media posts and everything like that. And so that seems like as likely a place as any that she could be there. Now, what you notice, Brent, is that as you're kind of going through the streets and everything like that, is that you do see that there seem to be some people kind of, because being that you know the trade and everything like that, you know what a stakeout looks like. And you actually see some people on motorcycles. It looks like there are 3 motorcycles, and they're actually parked away from a Riyadh that's looks like what Jeff has suggested. And you see that one of the motorcycles is just parked, and the other 2 have 2 people that are obviously casing one of the hotels. So you have a fairly good idea that you've found the Riyadh Rouge, the place that Jeff is the place that Jeff has discovered that is one of the likeliest places that she's at.
So it looks like it looks like we've got somebody is looking for her, or someone else.
Mm-hmm. So, knowing that information, what do you guys plan to do? The two individuals that you see kind of just trying to inconspicuously monitor the Riyadh Rouge, you can see that they definitely look like I would say they're not like gangers or anything like that, but they definitely look a little rough. One of them has lots of tattoos, and you can see that they are pretty much, they're not great at the job, but they look like they're waiting for something. And the fact that there's a third bike suggests that there's somebody else in the area that they're with, because they have the bike kind of flanked on both sides, like they're keeping it from other street thugs from trying to steal at the same time.
Well, that makes sense. You got any ideas? Should one or both of us try to go inside the hotel to see if we can spot her first, or do we want to? We don't have enough information really to let her know. I guess we could tail the tailors, but motorbikes, they're
we just
tough
need
to follow.
Well, we need to get her first because they said that they're going to try to. The
Okay.
email was an implication that they're going to kill her.
Then
So what we should do is we should go in. We can act like we're friends of hers and see if they'll give us a room number, and then go up to her room and just knock. And we should be able to reassure her enough to get in. I mean, we don't have any weapons or anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's worth a shot. I mean, trying to talk to the desk.
You're pretty good at talking to people, so I mean, you're an asset handler. You should be able to get past the front desk, and we should be able to get her. We both are pretty good at talking to people. We should be able to get her to calm down.
Okay. So now here's the question: are you kind of front door type of folk, or are you
Well, in
back
this
door
case,
type of folk?
why don't one of us try and go in the front door first? Do you want me to?
Yeah,
try to go in the front
I
door
think we
first?
should go. I just think we should go into the lobby, and I don't mind talking to the front desk and trying a bribe
because
if
I
I
mean,
have to.
it's a hotel in Riyadh. They're going to have security, and my idea is, we're trying to use their security instead of fight their security right now to get her into a place where we can at least find out what's going on, what she knows, and get her away from.
Yeah, I don't think we're kicking down doors right now.
Yeah. The idea is to do this. If any violence needs to happen, I would rather it not be us that do it. I'd rather it be like the security guards in the hotel that do it. And
when we get in there, we should make sure that the third guy whose motorcycle they're protecting isn't in the lobby as well.
We should be able to spot. We might be able to spot that guy. So he's probably in the lobby.
He probably is in the lobby.
So yeah, so that's the idea. We'll go in, keep an eye out for him, talk to the front desk, see what they tell us about. See if we can subtly. We kind of want to do it without them. Hopefully, we can conceal the fact that we're asking about her specifically, and let them know that we need to contact her. And even if they call her to tell her that she has guests and they want to come up and see you, that should be fine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna write a little note on a piece of paper.
Okay.
Just with her name, so I don't have to say it out loud because somebody maybe is surveilling, and just walk up to the front desk and with some, what is the Moroccan money? The dirham, dirham. Dirham. And the note, and just kind of slide the note across and say, I'm looking for a friend of mine that I believe is staying here. We were supposed to meet, but they didn't show up. Could you call their room for me, kind of thing?
So basically, so that going in the front door, you find that the Riyadh it's definitely not. It sounds nice, maybe, I don't know, but the Riyadh Rouge is basically, like I said, an old converted house that had enough rooms to turn into a hotel. But think of it more like a hostel level hotel as opposed to a hotel level of hotel. So to your point, Brent, there isn't really any security in here other than the guy at the front desk. So just
it's not really a hotel.
It's a converted place. It's basically somebody who is looking to make money, but obviously the money goes somewhere besides repairs. Because, like, for example, one of the tile work and stuff like that has kind of crumbled a little bit on the sides, and it hasn't seen any kind of repair. The courtyard, it's lush in so much as that it's been watered, but it isn't pruned or maintained. So you see like a bird cage that's empty in the courtyard that kind of is in the center of the house. But the guy at the front desk it looks mostly bored, to be there. He's kind of just scrolling through stuff on his phone, and does perk up, of course, when he does see you. Jeff, going up to him and kind of explaining your story and passing along the note, he kind of looks and instead of calling, he just says, it gives you like a room number, and he says, I can give you a couple minutes to go up there, and he kind of like, he goes over and he actually closes the door, just like the entrance to and from the place, just to give you guys. And he's like, well, it basically says that you can go up to the room, and see if who you're looking for is there. You can tell that he pays very little attention to things outside of this, but he's going to try to give you a little bit of privacy for the amount of money that you paid him in the dirhams.
Okay.
So
I guess we head up then.
Yeah.
All right. So heading upstairs, because it's not a huge place or anything like that. It doesn't take you very long to get to what her door would be. But the first thing that you notice that's a little bit off is the door is slightly ajar.
I stop in the hallway and look at Brent's character.
And I wish that I had got a gun. So I will grab something to cover my hand, like a rag on a nearby, like if there's anybody that's like, do they have housekeeping in this sort of place?
There's probably somebody that comes in and that turns the sheets and cleans up the place.
Okay, I grab a rag off a nearby housekeeping thing and use that to hold my hand.
I guess I'm relying on hand to hand today. So
we are indeed
Here we
relying
go.
on hand to hand today. So I push the door open and kind of look inside. Or I push the door open, wait a second and see if there's a gunshot. Just somebody shoots towards the door. If not, I just look inside first, kind of peek in, do it quick.
Okay.
Do I notice anything?
Yes. So as you kind of enter into the room, you see that the room isn't exactly large or anything like that. But kind of pouring over a desk, you see a bald guy who's just kind of like shuffling through papers, kind of looking at papers and kind of quickly scanning and glancing at everything. Depending on how quiet you are, you can kind of see that you haven't disrupted him with just gently opening the door at this point.
Yeah, I just opened the door and looked in, and I tell you, there's.
Yeah, we're not making sounds. We're trying not to.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I mean, we could just scare the guy away. I mean, I could just say housekeeping, like I said, and he would probably run out of the room. So he's the only person in there?
Mm-hmm.
We really don't want him to take anything with him, though.
How good are you hand-to-hand? Do I know?
6.
Oh, you're go fucking beat him up then. I don't say that out loud, but I say.
Okay.
You just mix up shopping potions. and you mime judo chop.
Judo chop. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Austin Powers judo chop. Including the tiny little jump in the air before
I mean, yeah. Are you trying to sneak up on him and then?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak up on him and incapacitate him, which probably means a chokehold of some kind.
You're way better hand-to-hand combat than I am.
Yeah, I like how you're like, I just have a 6.
Well, that was one that I didn't take to an 8, but I didn't want to reduce to a 4.
So basically, in combat, there's a part where you try to get surprise, and so when you try to get surprise, you have to kind of roll a contest to see if basically you can get the jump on them.
What skill do you use?
So with combat, you can usually sneak up on them with successful infiltration or surveillance test. I would not call it vigilance, so the detail would be. I
would go with infiltration. I have a 6 on that as well.
Okay, so you can either roll straight up, and then 4+ is going to be your. 4+
I'm not even as good at shooting people as you are as a judo chopping people, for the record, or infiltration for that matter.
Shooting, yeah.
Now,
I figure there might be some combat.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do infiltration. Would be just a straight D6 roll.
It would be, but you could add points to it from your pool to give yourself a better chance of success.
Do you add points before or after?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to declare your points.
I'll add 1 point, I guess. Because my pool isn't that huge, right? No,
That's 6. I mean, or you
six.
said
Oh,
6,
okay.
right? So
I'll add 2.
Yeah.
When do the
I'll add
refresh?
2.
When do refresh on general skills happen again?
they happen. It depends on the type of general skill, but they can refresh when you have like a break, when you have certain criteria that's met. I'll have to look
Now
and see
this
which
feels
infiltration.
important. I'm gonna add 3, so I could potentially add 3 again later. Because you said a 4 is a success.
Yeah.
So I roll 1d6 plus 3,
Correct.
and then my infiltration goes down from 6 to 3 on the sheet.
Yeah.
Just to note.
Oh, I do have a
Correct.
point in infiltration.
Okay. Unexpected input line. Oh, I see what I did. Never mind. I apologize. 1 second. I rolled a 6, a 3 plus 3.
Okay. And so let me just double check to make sure I'm not missing anything for their surprise. But here's just a general on how to refresh general abilities. So at the director's discretion, you may be able to refresh 1 or 2 pool points from any general ability by following your drive into danger or a story complication. Some special combat moves, such as tactical and technical fact-finding benefits and other special circumstances, may allow refreshes during play. So like if you have like hand-to-hand 8 or some of the things, you can typically get 3 points of refresh. Agents captured by the enemy can fully refresh some general abilities just before they escape. Not the case right now, but just in case. And then, of course, additional pools for physical abilities like athletic, driving, hand-to-hand, piloting, shooting, and weapons fully refresh 24 hours of game world time elapses since the last expenditure.
Oh, so you can use these pretty well. You can use these pretty freely
Yep.
for general.
Well,
Okay.
and then the remaining general abilities refresh at the end of each operation, similar to investigation. So infiltration kind of feels like it's one of those operation-wide ones.
Sure. That makes sense.
Unless you follow your drive or something like that into like, I've got to get to the bottom of this kind of thing, and then you go into a place of known harm to do that. That might refresh you 1 or 2 points.
Okay. So my infiltration's down. My hand-to-hand is ready if I get the jump on him, drop on him.
Okay. And then let me just make sure I've got surprise figured out, and so I don't accidentally kill you with a surprise.
He was faking looking at those. He knew you were there.
He could tell as soon as you gave the guy the bribe that you know who you were and what you were trying to do. All right, so surprise when they suddenly find themselves okay, okay, so surprise sneaking up on them. Basically 4, a sudden surprise and such a garlic bomb. Okay. Okay, so surprise characters go last in combat, and the director may rule that a very, very badly surprised character, NPCs, when their agents have made their infiltration test by 4 or more points, the agents, if they failed their sense trouble test by 4 or more, may also forfeit 1 or more rounds of action. So since you beat it by just 2 points, we're going to go that he goes last in combat, and he suffers a +2 increase to all of his general ability difficulties for his subsequent actions.
I'm going to spend 2 of my hand-to-hand points then for the first attack.
Okay. Now, as he's doing that, I do want to ask, because there is a
I got a 7.
Nice.
Sorry, you were saying something.
So I was gonna mention that. So hit thresholds in this game is basically that how hard it is to hit things. So it's not always 4.
Okay.
It really depends on what you're trying to hit. So in this case, you did succeed at hitting him. Now you have what are damages, and for damage you do a d6, and you have what's called the damage modifier. Now there is a thriller rule that I wanted to ask you about. Is that sometimes, like some people say, like there's an optional rule of minimum damage, because if you're using fists, kicks, blackjacks, or something like that, you actually have a minus to your d6 when you do damage. So the question would be, is that, do you want that to at least do 1 damage whenever you're poked? Because that's just basically like, you have to assume that if you did d6, you hit, but obviously you got tangled up in their jacket, or maybe they were wearing, light armor or something like that, whatever that may be. So did you want to do the minimum damage thing where they do at least 1 point of damage unless they're actually wearing armor.
Sure.
I think that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And then the question is are you doing non-lethal damage?
I would prefer to, since I got the jump, since I'm surprising him, I would hope that I could try to put a chokehold on him. But if I can't, then I guess I just punch him, from behind.
Okay.
So I don't know. Sorry.
What does non-lethal damage do? Does it make it harder?
Yeah.
No, it's just it basically turns it to a consciousness roll. So basically, like, they don't die when they hit their -11.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill him because that brings other complications. So I am trying to incapacitate him, and I would prefer to do it, not by leaving my DNA all over his face. Does that make sense?
Try not to make sure everyone's aware that you guys are players on the board, is what you're saying.
Yes. So I would, if I was able to sneak up on him, I would like to try to choke him out. So I would like to try to do non-lethal damage.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, then we're into it. But with two of us in here, it might be different. So you said there's a negative if I don't have anything other than hand to hand. So what's my negative modifier on my 1d6?
So you roll at a -2 for damage. If you're just using like a fist or a kick or something like that.
I got a 3. I rolled a 5. -2 is 3.
Okay. So that does 1 point of damage, and you have successfully surprised the individual in there as they were looking at they were looking at documents on there. You just kind of came up and clubbed them in the side of the head. Okay, 1 second here. Boom.
So he's wearing armor, is what you're saying?
No, he's not wearing armor. He just he did 1 point of damage because there's a natural -2 to damage rolls.
But he took that an additional -2?
No, because
he rolled a 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. I thought he rolled a 3. I didn't.
No, I rolled a 5. Minus the 2 points is 3 points of damage.
That's why.
Yeah. No, nope. You were absolutely right to ask because I did not hear that. So, okay. So he basically, he gets surprised. Obviously, you club him in the back. He kind of sprawls over the table. He looks over. Towards you and kind of sees you and tries to like kick you off of him. Not really taking the time to like ask you who you are, like, what are you doing here? Or any those types of things. He just sees that you hit him in the head and he obviously reacts. So give him a Oh, okay. Well, surprisingly, even with his modifier there, because he had a +2 to difficulty, he rolled a 6. So he was able to push you back. You knocked him over, and even in his surprise, he was still able to get enough of his leg on you to push you away. For 3 points of damage. So your 3 points of damage would go against your health pool. So that's where you're tracking all those.
Super, yeah.
So in your case, you have a health pool of.
I had 8 at the end. I didn't update that. I put my extra points into health.
Okay.
So I'm down to 5.
Okay. All right. So Brent, now, are you going to engage in this situation at all, or?
I am going to trip him if he comes out the door.
Okay. Are you making your presence known, or is it just right
Not
now?
Until he comes out the door.
Okay. I just want to kind of get your senses, because the person would basically think he just got clubbed by Jeff, and now he's kind of immediately reacting to him. When he scans the scene, you're nowhere to be found. right?
My intent is to surprise him again as soon as he tries to leave.
Okay. All right. So, Jeff, what is your hand-to-hand absolute value there?
Unless Jeff really doesn't seem to be doing well, but he
6.
seems fine so far.
Absolute
Okay.
value is 6. It's down to 4 because I used 2 points for the first attack.
Okay, I'll have to double check, but I think it in initiative. Yeah, so it's your rating is since you're both doing hand to hand, it's basically whoever has the higher hand to hand rating goes first, and ties go to players in that scenario when it's just kind of like a duel, effectively. So go ahead.
Do I get free banter?
You can banter if you'd like. Are you going to try to? What are you going to try to do here?
Just ask him what he's doing in Olivia Lou's room, and then try to punch him in the face.
Okay, so throw your punch, and he will see if he has a witty repartee that escapes before the punch hits.
I rolled a 6.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And my damage, hang on, -2. My damage is 4.
Jesus.
I rolled another 6.
Okay.
Well, you're in the same dice roller. I mean,
I
know you're not
I'm
looking
just,
at it right now, but
You're doing good.
well, yeah, that is 2 very lucky dice rolls, but
That's what we need. Luck.
All right. Okay, so let me read this next part just to make sure. All right. So when you make a consciousness, roll a die with the absolute value of your current health pool as your difficulty. So when it says absolute value of your health pool as your difficulty, that must mean that you
Skill.
is the
That must
absolute
mean,
value
like-
the current value?
that must mean that it means like if you have a -5, your difficulty would be a 5, right?
I think so. Because I think absolute value doesn't take into account pluses or minuses. But I don't fully know how the game uses it, if I'm being honest. Absolute values are always positive or 0.
Mm-hmm.
Positives remaining not positive, negatives become positive. 0 is neither.
Okay, so in this case, he basically growls out. He's probably here the same reason you are, kind of like more of a jab at you and everything like that.
Okay.
But he does need to roll a consciousness roll. So, so you can tell that you're with your witty banter, you manage to just clock him right in the face. And that like moment where you can see someone go a little bit weak in the knees. You see him kind of lean back on the table with probably needing it more for support than what you might have expected from your hit. But he kind of shakes it off and kind of tries to bounce back in order to kind of push you towards the wall, to kind of pin you up against the wall.
So with a 2, he made his consciousness roll?
Yeah, so just to explain the behind the scenes, because he's at -1 right now for his health, so his difficulty would be 1.
Would be 1. Oh, okay.
So
that's
I'm
fair.
assuming he would pass it no matter what. But I just wanted to roll to see.
That's fair.
Okay, so he goes to push on you, and you can tell that the odd angle at which he's coming up from the table and it kind of scooting back from you cause him to kind of like more stumble in your general direction. He is not able to get a good purchase, and he kind of more hugs your hips than actually does any sort of damage to you or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't know why I just rolled. Oh, a 4. Oh no, I thought I rolled. I guess it was just severely delayed. Let me take.
Yeah, you rolled a 4. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him again.
Okay, Go for it.
I guess he's got his arms around my waist. I'll probably try to elbow him in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Well, that's not good.
So that's not a great roll.
Okay. So rolling a 1 basically means that he's put you off on enough balance that you're kind of struggling with him at this point. Neither one of you has really gained an advantage or anything like that. But now he's going to try to like basically pick you up and drop you on the ground, seeing if he can lift you up.
Sure.
Apparently, he's still a little dazed and he kind of struggles, and you can feel one of your legs kind of coming off the ground a little bit, and you can see that he's trying to lift you up, and it's just not working. Brent, you kind of hear this groaning and struggling coming from the room.
Since it seems like it's a protracted fight, I will go in now and try and assist in knocking the dude unconscious. Whatever I can hit as far as about his head and shoulders, I will do so. Because I am not as good at hand-to-hand combat as.
Yeah, don't waste any points.
Can I attack the dude?
Yep.
I will go last in combat because I only have 1 point in hand-to-hand. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
So, Jeff, your turn. So basically, he sees that he's kind of outnumbered at this point.
Yeah.
Sees another person kind of enter the room and start to do something. He's kind of confused, obviously. He doesn't know if Brent is
I basically swat him on the back a bunch of times, apparently, as he's got he's got trying to do a double leg on Jeff.
All right. While he's looking at Cornelius, I'm going to try to hit him in the head. I got a 3.
Okay, that hits. Yes, it's hit threshold of 3.
Okay. D6 -2. I do 3 points of damage. So it was 5 -2 again. So it's 3 total actual damage.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 6. Okay. He's still conscious.
This guy's a machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's impressive.
So
it's impressive. I thought I rocked him with that one. I'm going to be honest.
You could have. He looks like he's
somebody who's been
hand.
in a few fights. I feel like I thought I had him on that one. So I'm a little shocked.
Oh, he surprises you. He uses his momentum to kind of.
Oh, he's rallying. Okay.
He's rallied a little bit. He uses his momentum to kind of give you a couple punches in the liver. Do you guys have any armor on? Speaking of which, I don't know if that was.
I wasn't sure the John Wick bulletproof coats were an option.
I was actually surprised.
I'm joking.
Well, before you joke too much, I was surprised because there's
all sorts
of
shit. There's all sorts of shit in there. Yeah, there's all sorts of shit in there. They have a book that's like armament book.
Mm-hmm. But also I was just looking in real
That's
stuff.
Funny.
And there are like ballistic hoodies and stuff like that, like hoodies that are like have like little Kevlar plates in them to help stop you from dying. But I did the first video I saw because I was like, oh, like a bulletproof hoodie? That's crazy. So what they did is they're like, what if we got the drop on this guy? And they had like a shotgun, and then they shot the thing, and just ballistic dummy jelly just shot out the front, and they were like, oops, I guess the hood isn't ballistic, isn't bulletproof. And I was like, and they were like, we know that going in, but we just wanted to prove a point. The hoodie is not bulletproof.
Right.
So
he rolled 4 damage, or is that 2 damage?
2 damage.
2 damage. I am down to 3.
Okay. All right. So taking a couple punches to the gut, it kind of rocks you a little bit. It's Brent's turn now.
I hit him.
Brent hits.
Oh, yeah.
1d6 -2?
Yep, correct.
Oops. I have to roll correctly. I do 1 point of damage.
Well, he should be at -5 now.
He is. So Brent, like, how did you knock this guy unconscious that seemed to have the
Yeah.
will where there was a
In the-
way?
Coup de grace.
I probably just got lucky and like threw a lucky punch to the back of his head as he was hitting Jeff, and like, no, I probably just kicked him in the nuts. He was bent over. He was bent over with Jeff and like hitting him.
Yeah.
And like I just was standing behind him, and I was just like, and I just kicked him in the nuts.
That sounds like a fixer solving the problem.
Okay, so you just teed up and bump.
Yep, I just upright him right between the legs as he was grabbing Jeff's waist.
Okay. And then you hear the announcer says, "Between the uprights." And then so obviously it didn't take much, to say the least, for you to do that, but you're kind of having been hit in the head, weakened by Jeff, and then of course a blow to the nuts just was kind of too many shocks for his body to handle, and he goes down, kind of like gripping Jeff's waist, but then like relaxing and like slowly going down, and kind of that like overwhelming shock, like his body's having a hard time processing it. Now, obviously, he's not conscious, but at the same time, you don't know how long that'll last.
How is he dressed? I'm going to try to tie him up.
Okay. How is, like, when you said how is he dressed?
Would he have a belt, or would he have like traditional garb? We didn't ask that.
Okay. So it's actually he doesn't look like I would say it's kind of hard to tell necessarily if he's a tourist per se, but he's wearing like some chino pants, and he's got like a lightweight linen shirt that he has.
Okay. Then I would take off his belt and tie his hands behind his back with it. If he doesn't have a belt, I would rip up one of the bed sheets pretty quick.
And when he's doing that, I'll use my filch skill to take everything off his body.
Okay.
Do you want to check him for a badge?
I'm sure I'll find it. Like literally, I take everything off, and because I believe that's what the filch skill is for, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's for getting. It's not just for stealing from people, but like grabbing the thumb drive off the desk when the people storm into the room. You know, kind of stuff.
There's a lot of cool.
There's a lot of cool uses for filch, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, well, you're effectively able to find a way to use his belt and maybe some other accoutrement to immobilize him, let's say. And Brent, as you're taking stuff off of him, you pretty much find you find some, like he has an ID card, he has like a wallet that's full of a little bit of money. He has a pocket radio, and it looks like he's wearing an earpiece. He does not have a badge of any kind. So
definitely get that earpiece. Sorry, just kidding. It's a bit, let's get the earpiece out. Sorry, Mike, go ahead. I shouldn't have interrupted.
So no, that's pretty much what you can tell what he has right there. You can see that from his ID, it looks as though it's probably a real ID, or at least it was it's an interesting place to be from, but his
no, I use conceal. I actually am better at it than that. Conceal actually is effective pat down target. Effectively pat down a target or given time conduct a thorough strip search. I just pat him down.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You see that his ID though says he's from Gibraltar. He's not from Marrakesh. So that's an interesting note from seeing where he's from. He is currently out, so there is at least a moment in which you can kind of could do what you need to do at this point.
If he's tied up and Brent's gotten his stuff, I would move over to the table and look at what he was looking at.
Okay. So basically, as you start to scan the room and everything like that, you see that most of the files that he seems to have been scattered on the table and everything like that, is you do see that he has he was looking at information about a new industrial mining project in the Carpathian Mountains. There are photographs and everything like that, and you can see that it's a fairly intensive construction site. What kind of I guess what kind of investigation abilities are you guys thinking that you might apply to this type of uh, research or
So looking through the room.
well, specifically the stuff on the desk? I was just curious.
I would probably be using. Oh, I'm looking right now. No, that's not it. That's not it either.
I mean, notice would be for anything that stands out, right?
Kind of, it
I mean,
can be a little bit of
do you want us to
Notice,
go? I mean,
I
I'd
might
have to
just be
read all the
using
skills.
tradecraft to look at the stuff. And honestly, if nothing jumps out, I'm looking for a backpack or something to put this in, a messenger bag, anything.
Okay.
And
So,
because
well,
we can study to.
I mean, because like we have diagnosis, research, notice. Like I have
Mhm.
points on all of those. Which
Yeah, but if it's pictures of a construction site, and not like
I have
her
archaeology.
receipts and stuff from town, or
I have archaeology and architecture.
yeah.
so let's go with research on this one.
Okay.
You want me to spend a point on it?
No, you don't need to in this case. The skill is enough. You pretty much you like looking at all the different objects and everything like that. You're able to work out that this dig site is in Romania. So whatever this main point of interest was, this trove of documents that you have here, it points you to Romania. Now, looking around a little bit more through the room, you're able to find that she has just a ton of printouts of documents about vampire folklore, buried bodies, Wallachian warlords. Um, and what you notice from these is that since some of them are photocopies and everything like that, but a lot of them seem to look like the file formatting seems to be similar, and you actually find some of the emails that were sent to them actually look like they're from probably the same source that set you up to come down and find Olivia Liu. So, because it looks like she printed most of that stuff out so she didn't have to keep on accessing it online, or may not have had access to it. So,
But is there anything in the room that says where she is?
yes. So, or at least you have a clue as to where she may be heading. So the first thing that you notice that kind of gives you an idea as to where she is, you see that next to the phone, there is a scribbled note with an address in Marrakesh for someone known as Hassan Safet. It was written fairly quickly. So like, like basically when you're jotting down an address, like, and then taking in that, and then you can tell that, she wrote it down, and then she basically probably jutted out of there, because a thorough search of the hotel room means that she is not there.
Okay. I say we grab all the documentation and hopefully something to carry it in, even if it means it's a pillowcase.
Okay. Well, and I mean, among other things that you find in the room, you do find that she has travel documents and other things like receipts for places that she was.
We're kind of
in.
doing this quick, so we'll put all of her shit in.
Yeah,
like,
we'll grab whatever we can. That's
in a bag,
probably not clothing and stuff.
Put it in a bag, and then put it and his shit in the bag. And then I'm gonna try and put him in a closet or something to hide him, so he's not easy to find right away. Like break his radio, break his ear.
Yeah, maybe tie his feet up as well, as because we got his hands behind his back, and probably gag him.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna wait for him to wake up to do any kind of interrogation, or are you just gonna?
No, because I assume somebody's gonna come in here.
Okay.
Like, so I'm just trying to make it easy. Like, they're gonna have to look for him. I'm gonna try and hide him, so they have to look for him.
Oh, so you're gonna use your conceal skill to make him harder to find?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
All right. Well, using a combination of things found in this room, you're able to make him very difficult to find to somebody who's not looking, considering he kind of muffled him and done everything you can to make his location hard to pinpoint.
Nice call.
And okay.
Because we're on a
So
time clock. They know where he's seen us. So
They know he's in there, and they probably, if he was mic'd up, they probably heard something, whether he triggered the mic or not. I don't
he
know.
has a radio, but he knows what we look like. He knows who we are, or like what we look like, which is the part that I think is suspect. So I don't just want to kill him
Well,
outright.
when we
So
go
the
down, we
longer,
should go out the back door or a window or something.
yeah.
We can't be
Is this a
seen.
ground floor or
it's the second floor.
is there a
Um,
window?
There is, yeah. You can
Okay,
go into the.
We'll go out the window.
Okay. Okay. So so game talk. This would be, so now that I've mentioned a person named Hassan Safet, this is as a Gumshoe player, this would be the time that you would look at whether you wanted to use some of your investigation abilities or like network abilities. So
But I assume we wouldn't do that in the room while we think people are going to come and shoot us.
no. I'm just saying is that you as a meta aspect, you can say, "Oh, I know who Hassan Safet is."
Right now, one of us could say we are connected to Hassan Safet. We could do that.
Yeah.
Or
you could say like
we
a
could
network.
get out of this situation, do some research to find out who he is.
Mm-hmm. So,
because I mean, we need to get out of this situation first. Or are you saying we're out of this situation?
Well, so escaping out the window and going out a back door, you find yourself in an alley that leads you to another part of the market. And so at this point, you're not exactly sure how much time you've bought, but you definitely know that obviously there is there's kind of even more urgency now because Olivia Lou's in the wild. They know who she is. She's on her way to see this person, Hassan Safet. So it's like you got to get to her first, effectively, before whoever these.
Right, but we're in a situation where we could share the information. So if somebody wants to spend networking, we say we know stuff on the side. So do you want to, or do you want me to?
I think I will this first time.
Okay.
I will say that I recognize from a previous, Hassan Safet's name. I will drop a networking point.
Okay. So so putting one in network for Hassan, you do know that Hassan is a fixer. He's not necessarily a criminal, other than the 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 crime of some of the services he does, I guess. But he can pretty much get you whatever you need, as long as you don't ask questions. He is at least a trustworthy individual. So he, from your dealings with him in the past, Jeff, is that he's reliable. He just happens to know both good and bad people who he does business with. So if she's on her way to him, that means that she's looking for him to help solve whatever problem she's currently in. Now, what did you guys do with the radio? Did you guys keep it or destroy it? What did you guys say?
I broke it.
Okay. All right. So now, how are we going to get to Olivia Lou?
We have an address, right?
No, we know Hassan, so we have to go. We go find Hassan first, and then Hassan tells. Hopefully, Hassan can give us the information to find out where she is.
Okay. So, there's a few different ways to do it. What we're going to do is, it looks like we'll wrap up here and we'll approach this on next time. But next time we're going to begin with maybe some chase rules, I think. So there we go. So this is our first installment of our Night's Black Agent scenario. As we get more comfortable with the system and everything like that, I'm sure it's going to be even more fast paced and thrilling. Because I tend to like how the Gumshoe rules work in a lot of things.
Yeah, that was
Love
pretty
to
cool.
see how it all feels at the end of this. But for people that are aware or unaware, the Dracula dossier is well regarded in the RPG community for campaigns that should be played in your life. And maybe this will inspire us to play that over the course of several.
Knowledge of the skills, I think, is important so far. Knowledge of what exactly the skills cover. So
Mhm.
I'll look at those a little closer.
Yeah, no, and obviously, your first time playing the director is pretty good. It's pretty good for me to suggest skills that may be applicable in some situations like that too. Just not to like leave you guys in the lurch, because that's not the important part. The important part is you have a vampire thriller. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you made it to this point, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff for more content. If you want to leave us comments in there to tell us what you liked about it, you didn't like, we will we definitely read and get back to you. And of course, Jeff, how do they contact us outside in social media world?
They find us. We are at Rollwise, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Or we are available by email, rollwiseguys@gmail.com.
And as always, thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Roll well, roll side, blah, 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 blah. Roll well, roll wise, and be safe out there, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks.